thank God, Moon Knight's back on track. This was the best episode, hands down.
Oh yeah, definitely, I agree. At the beginning, I was thinking that it was going to be some of the same stuff that we've seen before, that something evil would come out of the sarcophagus and inhabit Arthur Harrow, and then we'd have Moon Knight appear and they have a battle, but no. This completely threw us in the opposite direction, and I'm still glad that we don't even know what's going to happen in the final 2 episodes, and literally, we have no idea.
Yeah, because if you remember WandaVision, like when we got halfway through, we knew pretty much how things were gonna go, except for like maybe specific things. But now, like after episode 3, I was just like, okay, they're just gonna, have a big fight they're gonna save Khonshu, and then they're gonna have a big CGI fight, and then we're gonna set up 15 other movies through a post-credit scene. But no, this is a completely curveball. The first half of this episode, before they go to the certain place that they go to at the end, I was just like, ugh, this is so boring. Because, okay, let's just start from the beginning. So we pretty much pick up right where the last episode ended. And basically, I think the first shot is one of the Egyptian gods, I think the main ones, is like putting up the statue of Khonshu on like a wall. And it looked like an action figure display, because there's a bunch of other gods that were that had like their stone version of them. So probably Khonshu wasn't the first, and there are many other gods that the main core group of gods imprisoned. And Ammit is also one of them, but then you don't see her statue there. It's actually hidden somewhere else. And that spot it's actually inside the mouth of Alexander the Great. I did not see this coming. What did you think of that? That was crazy.
That was a pretty different curveball compared to what we've seen. And just the whole episode, I think that was spot on. Like right up until the beginning, I was losing complete interest. And I was thinking that the same thing was going to happen in the tomb. And then out of nowhere, Harrow just shot him twice. I was not expecting that. And I thought this was going to be the dark moment that Kevin Feige was saying. And I was hoping in that exact moment after he got shot that please don't bring it back. Please don't bring it back. But the only way they could have done it is that bringing him back in this way, in a way that we have no idea why he's back, I'm okay with that. I'm glad it wasn't like Khonshu appearing at the last second. It's like, oh, I'm reviving you now since you're my one true avatar, and then he gains like the ultimate Moon Knight power. I'm glad we saw nothing, just no recollection of whatever's going to happen next. So
yeah.
that was a very good move on their part.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually didn't see that coming either. But I mean, it's not like it's not going to happen. I think it's going to happen the next episode, or maybe even the finale. And I think we might not actually end up seeing Moon Knight until like the finale.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even appear in this episode. I mean, whatever that hippo thing was at the end, I'm all for it. If we get more of that in the next 2 episodes, inject it. All the content, just have the hippo. I don't even care about Moon Knight anymore. I just want to see what that hippo is.
Yeah, I think it's just one of the gods, and it's just like, hi, maybe it's Ammit. Oh wait, no, Ammit is a crocodile, right?
I have no idea. I'm not gonna pretend I know either.
Yeah, because like, if you look at her statue, it looks like a crocodile, but I don't know. I thought it was really cool that Alexander the Great was the thing, but then like if you know Alexander the Great, he seems like a guy that Ammit would punish, because didn't he like conquer like a bunch of places because he was like super greedy and he wanted to be like the ruler of the world and shit, and then it ultimately resulted in his untimely and very early death too. And I feel like
the only reason I can see them doing that is saying that Ammit knew that he was going to be good or bad from the beginning. So that's the way judging on how Ammit has given the duty of his judgment basically to everyone else. I don't know. That's like the only way I can see him doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I honestly, it's just like very confused by that. And also, another thing that I was just like sitting there and be like, what is happening at least in the first half is so basically so what happens is the beginning of the episode, the god like puts up the statue of Khonshu, and then we cut back to where Layla and Mark were, and like Mark is unconscious after he did the spiral constellation thing with Khonshu in the last episode, and then he goes unconscious, and a bunch of guys show up with guns and they try to shoot them, but then Layla blows them up by throwing a flare at their ammunition like stash on the truck. And then they just randomly walk to some dig site, and I'm guessing this dig site is the same place that Harrow was trying to find Amit in, right? Because he has a scare.
I assume so.
Yeah. So how did they show up before he did?
I mean, it's just moving really fast. The turning back the time with the constellations and Khonshu, that seems like 5 episodes ago. Like, I totally forgot that even happened, and what the significance of that compared to what happened in this episode is.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up in 2 episodes. It's like the same thing with pretty much the rest of the Marvel shows, but at least they're going in a direction where, okay, we don't know what's going on. It's not all spoon-fed to us where, we know exactly what's happening to Mark and Steven at this point. And I like the fact that they got separated into 2 different bodies now.
Yeah.
This is a show where someone could say, unlike Euphoria, that is actually references Twin Peaks in some ways. Those who will know will know.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad, like, we have one thing that they could say that it would make sense to referencing Twin Peaks.
Do I know any of this reference? Because I know I'm not done with Twin Peaks. No, not yet? Okay, alright. But, yeah, so... Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's just, like, really weird writing. Like, it was just like, let's just have the characters, the main good guys, catch up to the bad guy randomly, because why not? It didn't make any sense. It really did, because they show up and there's a bunch of dead bodies everywhere, like, and then like some weird mummy thing shows up and it starts like dissecting people, which, by the way, was actually pretty disturbing. I was really surprised I was really surprised that was in a Marvel show. So this is what I'm saying. If they ever do a Daredevil or like a Kingpin or like Punisher thing, just do this, but just remove all the blood. Just cut away or do something. Because I feel like, obviously they can't show blood and guts, but they showed a little bit. And also, like, they showed the sounds and stuff. And I feel like you can get away with it. I feel like it has a decent amount of effect for it to feel like it's really gruesome. And I don't know what that monster was. I don't know. I don't really care what it ends up being, but it was just like, yeah, let's just throw some CGI. It actually wasn't CGI. It looked actually pretty practical. Let's just throw some weird monster thing in and then some shit will happen. It was just so random. And then...
I mean, it's cool to see, though. I mean, at least it's a breath of fresh air compared to the rest. I'll take anything at this point. It's not orthodox.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm reading too much into it. It's like, whatever. And then, I did like what happened at the end is like when the monster was trying to chase Layla, and then like it felt like a horror movie and she was getting like dragged and shit. That was pretty terrifying. And
definitely,
then, and then watching her like kill him, like put the flare inside his eye and it burns his head open, and then
that was cool.
That was really cool. I like that. And then we get probably my first favorite moment in the episode. It's like, the first half and the second half of this episode feels like, 2 different things in a way.
A different world.
Pretty much 2 different worlds. And what I liked in the first half, the first half of this episode I really wasn't liking. I was just like, it's just more of the same garbage. And is when Arthur Harrow tells Layla that, or he kind of makes it look like Mark killed her father, who we learn in this episode was an archaeologist who was trying to prove that Egyptian gods walk among us. And apparently Mark and his mercenary partner show up, and his partner, he says, gets greedy and kills everybody. And this also results in Mark getting shot too, and thus implying that that's when Khonshu found him and he became Moon Knight. I just was like, man, I really wish we got to see that, because they're acting like we should already know this, because, we saw like a new Rockstar's video or something about his backstory before this. But I don't know, I hope we get to see it, but I feel like we won't.
Yeah.
I feel like we actually won't.
I have one out there crazy prediction. I don't know if they're going to do this, but if it would be cool if this somehow panned out. That it turns out that Steven is the one who killed Layla's father, and he was the mercenary somehow in a separate body, and then the gods made them into one, or they do something absolutely crazy like that out of nowhere. So it turns out that technically he did kill him, but it's not him because it's his alter ego, or just something like that crazy. We'd never have seen something of that level in Marvel where it plays with our mind that much. So I would just be, anything in that realm I would be completely happy with.
I would love that. I was actually hoping that he probably was the one who ended up killing him. What I was thinking was maybe he was the one who killed her father, and he kind of felt bad about it and tried to go meet his daughter and stuff. And then they fell in love, and then he kind of just was like, all right, if I just don't tell her that I killed her dad, I can stay married, you know, which is really screwed up. But I just feel like there's no way Marvel's gonna do this. There's no way. Like, they can't, they will never, they want all their characters to be super squeaky clean and stuff. So, I don't know. It's the same thing, like, with what I was thinking was, like, you know, we should really have our characters make really horrible decisions and be almost like the bad guy who's trying to seek redemption, you know? It's like one thing with Batman that I've been always wanting is like him, you know how he has a strict rule of not killing, but like what would happen if he accidentally did kill someone, you know? We never explore that. It's usually like he doesn't kill at all unless he wants to, you know? And so I really want something like that with Moon Knight, and I hope maybe he's just lying.
That's what I was thinking too. That would be pretty crazy as well.
Yeah, because if you look at Arthur Harrow, he has no reason to say that, oh, Mark might have killed, like, he could have just told her the truth, but he kind of just doesn't really say exactly, but he implies that probably Mark killed him. So maybe the fact that Mark realizes that she's asking him, did you kill him? Because she doesn't know exactly if that's true or not, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna say no and lie to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also, Arthur, there's nothing in the show that really makes him out to be like the pure form of evil. He just seems like he's so indoctrinated with his own cult stuff and his crazy magic that he doesn't even know what's right anymore. Just like, it's his thing. He's entrusted with deciding what's good and right, or what's evil and horrible, like Amit tells him to do. So, at this point, I don't see a reason for him lying.
Yeah, I honestly don't either. He's not just your typical bad guy. I did see this interview with Ethan Hawke when he was like describing his character, and he's like, he says like in the interview that his character, what he was trying to play him as was like a doctor and a saint. You know, he's like trying to so that's why he feels so much like a therapist. And at the end of the episode, when Mark, you know, gets shot by Arthur Harrow and he's implied that he dies, and he wakes up in this weird mental asylum thing. Arthur is a therapist in this world type thing. Yeah, but we have no idea what the hell is going on, you know? Because he wakes up. Okay, I guess we can get to this part. So they find Alexander the Great's tomb, and we find out that Amit's last avatar was Alexander the Great, which we talked about seems kind of problematic, but okay, it works, whatever. And right when we show up, Arthur Harrow shows up and he tells Layla to hide, and then Arthur Harrow like has a bunch of mercenaries, and then for some dumb reason Mark's like, I'm gonna attack you anyway, and then Arthur Harrow shoots him, and then he falls into a water, and he wakes up in this asylum, and I had no idea what was going on, but I liked it. Yeah, I instantly, it was the biggest 180 I've seen in one episode ever in my life. Like, at least in my latest remembrance, yeah. Like, it was crazy.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I was not expecting that at all. And one other thing that I was really surprised about, that we're 4 episodes in, and we haven't gotten that one scene where, like, oh yeah, we know this is the real Moon Knight show. He has the epic moment. We haven't even gotten that, really. And the closest we come to is the fight in the jousting yard. But other than that, we haven't gotten that. We're like, oh, Moon Knight, look at that epic entrance. And I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, I'm really surprised too. At first, I was just like, this seems kind of lazy. Is this how they're gonna do that? But they're kind of treating it like we should already kind of know him, or which I think is kind of weird. But I think maybe, I hope this is true. I think what maybe it is there's an even bigger thing that they're trying to build up to. But I have no idea what it is. So, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like at this rate, they're going to spend like the entirety of the 6th episode in the Moon Knight suit.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we're definitely gonna. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like all of the next episode is gonna be in this weird mental asylum thing that he's in, and we're gonna see who this hippo god is, and then maybe that would really. Oh my god, this is why I don't like the 6 episode thing. Like, okay, we gotta. I want to spend at least an entire hour, one episode on this asylum place. And then so I feel like we're not gonna see him save Khonshu in the next episode. So that means he has to save him in the 6th episode, the final episode. But then again, he has to save him, and also he has to fight Amit, because it will probably be the giant showdown between him and Arthur Harrow. And they have to wrap this whole show up and set up for more. This is why the 6 episode thing is just, I hate it. We need more episodes. That's why the last episode and the beginning of this episode felt like we lost, like, we missed out on, like, 3 episodes.
Right, that's just the main worry. I think, like, having 6 episodes is fine. If you do the whole thing and you're done at the 6th episode, you don't limit yourself to the 6th. But I don't really know the backstory behind why there's 6 episodes every time, to be exact. So, I don't know if the directors don't get full control there, but yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. I feel like that's probably Disney.
Yeah, it's just like, it's either 6 episodes or 8 episodes, but when it's 8 episodes, I think the reason why WandaVision was 8 episodes was because, like, the first few episodes were just fully focused on the sitcom thing. Like, you didn't really see any progression in the plot. It was just the sitcom. It was just, like, this pretending thing. And that's why all the episodes there were, like, 30 minutes each. And even then, I think, wait, is WandaVision the longest MCU show?
It is. I think it's 350 minutes.
Okay, got it. But, I mean, it's not like...
This is only 282.
Oh my god. That's like, what? An entire hour shorter than WandaVision.
And it seems like way more has happened in Moon Knight than WandaVision.
Exactly. It feels like there's way more happening in Moon Knight than freaking Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier has like 17 subplots, but all of them feel like the same, and like they all just end in like 5 seconds. But like, I feel like the reason is I think Moon Knight is just infinitely more interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I was telling you, like, the reason why we're like doing this review later than usual is because I was so disinterested to check this episode out. Usually, even Hawkeye, which I did not like at all, I was like watching the episodes every midnight before the day it comes out. But this is probably like the longest I've waited like after an episode came out, which is crazy. And it just goes to show you, like, the Marvel fatigue is really getting to me. And I keep saying that, and I feel like there's going to be a point where I'm just going to be like, oh, new Avengers movie? I'll watch it on streaming. I don't want it to be like that, but, do you feel that way?
It's possible. Sometimes, yeah, but I've kind of learned to keep my expectations a little bit lower. I mean, I didn't go into No Way Home thinking it was going to be Inland Empire or something like that. So
yeah.
I think we take it for what it is, and it's not the first thing on my list, but I'm not like putting it off to watch it. So you know what you're gonna get with the Marvel movie and Marvel show. You're gonna have a fun time. Even the ones that you didn't like, I don't think you would say that you wasted your time with Hawkeye.
I don't think I wasted my time with Hawkeye because I needed to see how they butchered my boy Wilson Fisk.
Exactly.
There's the perfect meme for this. Like, the way I felt when they butchered Wilson Fisk is like me as Don Vito Corleone. Is like, look how they massacred my boy. That's exactly how I felt.
As soon as you said that, I knew exactly if that was gonna be it.
Yeah, but back to Moon Knight. I'm just like, I'm enthralled. I'm excited to see more, but I'm just so worried. I'm so worried. Because here's the thing. You know, like every time, sometimes when like Marvel movies or like Marvel shows, when they get a great villain and the great actors playing them, sometimes it just feels like, oh my god, they could have been so great, but they kind of just rushed them and stuff. And it's not just when they have great actors, also sometimes when they have a great villain. But now, like in this show, every time Arthur Harrow's there, even though he's surrounded by really lazy writing, he's amazing. He's like the best part. And I feel like it's Ethan Hawke who's just like freaking carrying this entire show.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and Oscar too. What if you have two actors of that quality? It's pretty hard to make a show bad.
Yeah, I think Oscar Isaac is incredible, man.
He is. I think he deserved more credit for playing two guys and they're talking to each other. Like, that's harder than it seems, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, this is like Fight Club in the next level if you were just purely talking about the acting. Because in Fight Club, you don't really see, even though, like, all the other people that aren't the narrator, when they look at him, he looks like, I forgot that actor's name. Edward Norton. But we know that, you know, he has a whole different persona that looks like Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt is like, when we see the Tyler Durden version of him, it's just Brad Pitt talking. But here, it's like Oscar Isaac is playing both. And they're so different, and the fact that he's able to shift back and forth. There's one of my favorite scenes that we didn't talk about in the last episode is when in one take, he looks at the mirror and instantly shifts back to Steven. He does the same thing here when he looks at the mirror and he instantly turns back from Steven to Mark. I thought that was like incredible. That's really hard to do. Oscar Isaac is killing it too. Yeah, we should give credit to that, definitely. But is there any other stuff you want to talk about? I feel like I'm talking way too much.
No, not at all. I just think that I'm very optimistic, and I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm going into it with full expectations they can fulfill what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Now, even if the next two episodes are like average, I think it's still the best MCU show.
Honestly, I was thinking about it. You're probably right. At least it attempted to do something different. Even if this show amounts to being something like super generic, or like like the reveals are just like, oh, okay, I could have guessed that, like how we felt in WandaVision. I feel like the way it approached it is already so much more unique and better than any of these other shows.
Yeah, I think just this latter half of this episode today is better than any episode in the entirety of the rest of the show.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah. And, people are like, oh, you can't just say one piece of an episode is better than the entire show. I feel like we can. I really think we can. So...
Yeah, just this aspect in terms of creativity and thinking outside the box, especially in Marvel terms.
Oh my god, yeah.
We have a bright future here. And with Thor coming up, I think the hardcore MCU fans are going to be pretty happy.
Oh yeah, Thor, I think, I know for a fact Thor will be great. Wakanda Forever, it can honestly, I feel like it'll be a lot worse than Black Panther or as good as Black Panther. And Doctor Strange is 2 weeks away? I don't even know how to feel about that. So, I haven't even bought my tickets. This is like the longest I've waited to get Marvel movie tickets. Because usually I get them right away when they come out. But no, not for this one. So... And I'm not just saying that because, oh, look at me, I'm a grown-up now, and, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I don't like Marvel, even though everyone else likes it. I'm a huge superhero fan, I want these things to be great. I mean, all I watched were superhero movies, and then once they got kind of, the same, and I realized that, I started exploring other stuff, and I started loving that more. And I'm really holding on a very thin rope, and... this show, it's starting to get a little rocky, but I feel like, it's one of those shows where, like, when it deviates from the main plot, where it's, find Amit, defeat Amit, it's better. It's, like, so much better. That's why the first two episodes are so great.
Yeah, and, I mean, deep down, we're always going to have fun with Marvel. It doesn't need to be Apocalypse Now. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they'll ever be bad. I don't think they'll ever reach the level of even Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad or something like that. But then again, I feel like they will never reach, the Batman or the Dark Knight trilogy. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this is not as great as the Dark Knight, so it's bad. It's just like, I know these guys can do a lot better, and they are doing it here, but at the same time, they're really letting the tropes and the lazy writing that they've been accustomed to, and the rushed writing that they've been accustomed to with all these shows, and it's like really holding them back. And I feel like I'm 90% sure this show is not going to end in a satisfactory way, but I hope at least it's good enough for me to at least happily say that I thought a Marvel TV show was above average, like way above average, and I had a good time, and it didn't leave as sour of a taste in my mouth by the end.
Yeah, I'm more optimistic. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, as I said before on this one. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the final two. It's going to be very fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we're definitely going to be talking about that. And I feel like when we get to the finale, we should talk to the whole show, the show as a whole, how it all came together. And people are saying, hey, the Blade is going to show up at the end of the episode because Ethan Hawke did an interview with Jimmy Fallon where when Jimmy Fallon asked him if Blade was in it, he just was like, he looked like he made a facial expression where he was almost going to say it, but he held himself back. So they're like, oh, Blade is going to show up. Because if you know, there's this Marvel team of superheroes called the Midnight Suns or something, and it's comprised of Blade and Moon Knight and Punisher and Daredevil, I think, is all the dark characters in the MCU. And also Kit Harington's character, the Black Knight, which they're going for, because if you remember at the end of Eternals,
right,
it's confirmed that Mahershala Ali is the one who's talking to him. So it's like, oh, Blade's gonna show up to Moon Knight and be like, hey, you're gonna join me now, and we're gonna be the Dark Avengers or something like that. And it could happen. I mean, anything goes at this point.
Yeah, I'll take it. As long as it's good, I'll take it.
Yeah. Did you know that Mahershala Ali actually straight up went to Marvel and be like, I want to do a Blade movie? And they're like, okay. And that's why they're doing it.
You can't really say no to a king like that.
Yeah. And that's why everyone was pissed that, hey, this guy was in the Marvel Netflix show and now he's going to be a completely different character. So that's why the Marvel Netflix show isn't canon anymore. But then there's recent reports saying that it is canon. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why Marvel still hasn't answered if it is canon or not. I don't know why. I feel like they don't even know the answer. Even though it feels so obvious like it's not. So it's weird. We'll find out. But overall, I feel like, I feel kind of icky saying this is the best episode because the first half was so lame and mediocre, but versus the first two episodes where pretty much all of it was really good. So I don't know, but this is I'm intrigued. I will say that I'm excited, but at the same time I'm very concerned.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Looking good with some open arms.
I just hope, I there's no way I don't know, Arthur Harrow is just gonna, I don't know, go inside of a pool of urine and bring out Doomsday or something, I'm just saying that because, hey, he multiverse Max, because guess what, Arthur Harrow kind of looks like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor because they both have long hair. I honestly, that's not too far off. That's not too far off from some crazy fanboy saying that.
And we're going into the multiverse of madness.
Oh yeah, hey Max, Tom Cruise's Iron Man is gonna show up. That's what people are saying in that.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I will gladly be proven wrong if it does. I think that'll be better than Top Gun.
Oh my god. If Tom Cruise ever shows up in a Marvel movie, I bet he will force the producers to make an actual Iron Man suit for him so he can almost kill himself doing a stunt.
That would be... actually pretty accurate.
That would be so fun. But yeah, if we both end up seeing Doctor Strange around the same time, we should do another spoiler review. And and I'm excited. So yeah, I guess. Any other final thoughts about this episode?
That's it for this one.
That's it for this one. Yeah, another intriguing episode. It wasn't as bad as the last episode. Join us in the next episode when we get to the penultimate episode before the finale. Thanks for watching.